Welcome to what is going on in the UC. Oh. Today we are going to talk about the 3 blind spots of humanity. What are the 3 blind spots of humanity? They are 3 things that it takes us our entire lifetime to realize is upside down, inside out, just wrong, and causing us to waste our life and waste our potential. Well, what could the 3 blind spots be? Well, the 3 blind spots are all related to the 3 great blessings. First blessing, individual perfection. Second blessing, the blessing to multiply a good human family. The third blessing is the blessing to rule over all things and be subject in the give and take relationship between humanity and the natural world, also known as the environment. The first blind spot pertaining to the first blessing is the fact that the reason why we cannot unite our mind and body is because we were made to chase after love. We want to go after love, and it is our natural motivator. Love is our natural motivator. And because we have false parents who rather tease us with love rather than give us love, or we have a false culture that sort of teases us, sort of like a carrot on a stick, sort of teases us with love instead of actually giving us love, we are tortured beings who wind up wasting all of our lives trying to chase after a love that wasn't actually there to begin with. Because you cannot get love from something that doesn't have love. You cannot get true love from false parents, and you cannot get real, true, sustainable love from a fallen world. Every single thing that we do, including much of our altruism, is stained underneath with lack of love. In other words, I want to be successful so that I can trade the success in for love. Or I want to be beautiful so that I can trade the success in that area in for love. But this is all motivated by the feeling that love isn't there to begin with. Now, if you can't look at why you do the things you do and uncover this, you're still suffering from that blind spot. So what's the second blind spot? I'm glad you asked. The second blind spot is because we don't realize how much false parenthood torments the next generation, we don't realize how we set the next generation off on the wrong foot in the haphazard way in which we conceive them. In other words, we generally tend not to see how irresponsible sexual behavior actually translates 15, 20 years later in the lack of love of the next generation. In other words, we fail to see how our attitudes towards sex curse the next generation. Sex should be like an oven in which we are baking the next generation. It has to be infused with love and meaning to the people who are going to be committed to honoring that act by raising that child in love and reverence. So what's the third blind spot? I'm glad you asked. Well, the third blind spot is sort of like an environmentalist attitude that we are supposed to have as good and true parents that we tend not to have. The vast majority of people in the world take for granted the effect that the environment has on their offspring. They do not engage big business or mass media for the crap that it pumps out because they think that it has not so much to do with the way their children turn out. One day the parents realize that their children are people that they don't know, and they are horrified realizing that their children have nothing to do with them. That it's as if something else crept in there and influenced their children, and they don't know what it could be. They say to themselves, where did I go wrong? They may even blame themselves. This is tremendous blindness. And what it is failing to track the things that actually influence impressionable minds in the first place. For example, there once was a time where you could count on the school system to teach your children mainstream concepts. Now, special interests lobby to get their issues stuffed into school curriculums. There once was a time when you could assume that most artists and Hollywood types were from the same slice of America as most of the rest of us. But now, special interests have crept into Hollywood and paid big money to have their issue glamorized and normalized on the silver screen, thereby influencing impressionable minds to sort of receive marginal lifestyles as if they are normal. Now, the impressionable mind doesn't know reality from anything else. When they take the reins and become the people pushing the buttons in our society, they are actually unwittingly responsible for making the once marginal behavior normal. So, who knows about these 3 blind spots? Who knows about the 3 blessings? Who? Unificationists. Therefore, if we're doing absolutely nothing to rescue our kith and kin and our fellow man from the ravages of Satan working in these blind spots, then how in the world can we be called holy sons and daughters? How in the world can we be called owners of something as vast as a nation, or even holy sons and daughters of a cosmos? Anyway, if you like this, like, share, subscribe. Talk to you later.